All right, I want to go over the latest version of Ziploc tech that we've come up with. And this has been a collaboration between me and some of the Patreon members that have been tweaking this. Michael, he bends it over and leaves a space to get a wider area of FAE. So he's got more air coming in. Now, I've been doing it just normal like I always have, but if you want more air, you can cut part of it around here. There's like 3 lines. I would go to the 3rd one down, not too far down. And you'll see why not too far down in a minute. Keep cutting all along to around here. I wouldn't go all the way to the end. And if you notice, we added another 1/4 inch to our FAE area. So you can do that. It won't hurt anything. It's actually good. It's just that you have to add another step. So now we add our tape. And we go a bit right over the blue, because that's about what you want to go all the way to the other side. Try not to get any creases. Try so it doesn't stick to itself or you get creases and stuff. Now, notice, now we bend it over. And this is why I like to start with this bent backwards a little bit, because when you put it over, you get less wrinkles. And if you look on the other side, it's crooked, but it's okay. We went over, right over the double zipper here. And this is with the great value bags. Other bags are going to be a bit different. Now, as always, I cut all the way to the edge here, so that when I tape the other one and fold it over, it doesn't push it aside or something. Now we have 2 options. When you cover this part, you can use the wide tape and cut it to size, or the thin tape, the 1 inch. I'm going to show you both. So for example, here, I'm just going to take one piece, cut it to about 1 inch, and then go around. I get my flattest part. This one's got the best edge. Stick it on this side and fold over. You can do that. Or you can use the 1 inch tape, because I like it better for the other part that we're going to do as well. The other tape, got about 1 inch. Then we go over here, about halfway, all the way to the top, fold it over. And as we've said before, it's the same thing. It's just that this one gets a bit more area. But the important part is this right here, because we've talked about this, where if you, even with everything sealed, if you press on it, air comes out. Right now it's coming out slowly, because it's coming out of here. It ends up with these tiny little holes here that let air in and out. That may not be an issue, but you can never be too safe. So we cover that as well. Now make sure you press on this hard, because you don't want it to pull out when we pull open the zipper. Now, you could call this done, because this is what we used to do. Notice the wider air gap now that we're going to have. Before it would have been up to here. Now it's up to down here. And I don't have to try to do Michael's thing where he folds it over higher, because when I do that, it sticks together and it doesn't want to come apart. And when I pull it open, sometimes it rips. It's too difficult for me. He's way better at this than I am. So what I do is I go over the edge of the actual plastic bag. So now here's the other little trick. If you pull it, it's real hard and you could rip this apart if it snaps. So what I do is I go like this. I go like that, this motion. So I pull it apart, hold it here, and then, see, I'm using almost no strength. And then I keep going, and then now we can pull it all apart. Make sure that this unsticks from itself. Look at this. See how it's getting clear? It's unsticking from itself. And then you go all the way to the edge. Now, in the olden days, see, this is stuck to itself. We make sure that it's not. There we go. In the old days, we would do this. And we'd have to make sure that we keep this shape. Because if sometimes when you're not looking, it'll stick back together. And if it sticks back together, it doesn't breathe, everything dies, you get condensation, it's horrible. So here's what we do now. This is what we came up with, Michael, Christian, and me, because a couple people had this happen and they lost some grain bags and we all cried. So you can do this at the same time that you're opening it up, and you just keep going all the way down and you pull on the plastic bag, see, to get it over. And here's the other thing. This has like a double layer of plastic, this wider blue, so it's stiffer than this side. So if you notice, it naturally wants to bend that way. So it seems like it wants to stay better here than if I go here. So I've been doing it over on that side. Look at the thinner part and fold it towards the thick part. And then, like I said, notice the plastic going up, creating this nice cup. And then on the other side, you do the same thing. And if you notice, it wants to bend over to the thicker part. And then this is what I use to know where I'm going is, I want this to be flush here with the extra plastic there. Make sure you don't rip any of this open. And then here's where you can do two things. You can cut a piece of this one if it's the only one you have. That's perfectly fine. Or you can use the 1 inch, which is already thinner, because we want a bit thin here. And then what I do is I stick it on here on the side, push this down, see, hold it and fold this over. And the idea is that this will keep it in place. Now, I know I talked about using duct tape before, but I found that this works fine. I mean, even here, if you bend it like that, it is not gonna come back together. It's not gonna stick back together. But it's just good to give it a little bit more incentive to stay in place. So let me show you with the 1 inch tape, which is the same thing. And then put it right here. See, right up to the edge. And then we push it down. Fold this over. Boom. Now, you don't have to do anything else with it. If you want, you can add another little strip here. This is going to be kind of thin, about 1/2 inch, I would say. And then we stick it on here. see, and stick it against the bag. Now we're not going over the air vent at all, which is, you can't see, but when you saw it together, we're getting an extra 1/4 inch. So we got like 1/2 inch fresh air exchange, FAE, which is good. Now we go around here again, we get about 1/2 inch. And then we do it on this side. Go here. We stick it to the side. You can add some back here if you want it, if you want to be real finicky, but it's not really necessary. It's demonstrated with the 2-inch tape, wider. Just cut a piece. This part I don't ever do, but I'm just showing you if you want to do it. So there. Now the beauty about this method is it's not gonna stick back together. It just won't stick back together. So this would be your, I'm demonstrating this with unprepared popcorn. This is just normal popcorn without going through the pressure cooker or anything. But this is my go-to method now, because I don't have to be watching the bag so that they don't tape back together or close up on me or any of that stuff. Sometimes the tape can become loose a little bit, but you just press it on the corners. You keep an eye on them. You look at them every day, I'm sure, if you're like me. And especially when you're starting, you look at them every hour. So just do this. Don't fiddle with it too much. Remember, the more you mess with it, the easier it can contaminate. And you don't want to have anything get unstuck. So the good thing about this new method is that you get a lot of tape over the plastic. I don't think you can tell, but the plastic on this side is the wide, clear side. We got tape all the way up to here, so it will not unglue. It will not come loose. And then here we have it all the way to here. We got another wide piece of tape coverage. So this is our new method. This is what everybody's using in the Patreon group, and it's been working very well. And this is why the group is so important. It's so good, because we share information, we brainstorm, we shoot ideas back and forth. We try different things, and we come up with new methods that work better. So it's not just me coming up with this stuff. It's a nice group of people. In this case, it was 3 of us that came up with this, but we've gotten some really good ideas and stuff from the Patreon group, especially in the community chat. So yeah, this is the latest and greatest method. I'm going to post this separate, and I hope this helps.